Local 3 Sports with Jake Duran.
This fall, Pedro Flynn, better known as Pedro, will be one of 6 inducted into the USA Softball of Michigan's Hall of Fame. I caught up with the local legend to find out what drives him and keeps that competitive flame ignited over decades of competing. Hurley Field in South Marquette has welcomed countless players over the years. From the dugout to the bleachers and beyond, one player has made Hurley Field his second home for more than 50 years.
After Little League, there was no Babe Ruth or no Senior League, so I always came down here with my mother to watch my cousin on Hillcrest Dairy play with Dennis Chanel, that was his name, and they had a real good team, and there was about 30 teams in the Marquette area that were playing at the time, and I came down here and I was a young kid, like 14, 15, and I just got hooked.
The Diamond was a place that fueled Flynn's desire for competition.
Well, Pedro's a horse. He's a real competitive guy. He works really hard at what he tries to achieve, and dedication to the game. He always had dedication. Very, very hard-nosed player.
For 51 years, Flynn has dedicated himself to playing. It was on the pitcher's mound where he found his passion for this pastime.
When I was a junior in high school, I started throwing. I was wild and I threw hard, but I was wild.
He could throw hard, but he didn't really know where it was going that much.
His drive to improve led Flynn to develop a signature pitch that at times can be unhittable.
It just started happening that I started getting my control and everything started clicking, you know.
He developed a drop ball, which was his quality pitch, because in the day everybody had the rise, you know, all the elite pitchers, and Pedro would come in with this hard drop. And they never, when we go out of town, they would never see that. And it was hard to hit. And when they did hit, it would roll in the infield, you know.
Rise balls, most of the time the ball goes over the fence. Drop balls, the infielders get 90% of the balls because you never throw it higher than an E and it drops from there. So it's like dropping off the end of the table. So then I started throwing some change-ups in that and there and started mixing stuff, and that's how I got, you know, where I am today.
Over 5 decades, Flynn has traveled across the U.S. and Canada building a lifetime of memories, but one stands out the most.
But the one that meant the most to me was Rhinelander.
My best memory ever of Pedro was when we went to Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and I traveled down there and they put me at first base, and Pedro threw a perfect game against a New Zealand pitcher. And one of our guys, Tim Bullock, hit a 3-run homer, and that was the story of the game. Never got a runner. And I remember the last ball coming to me, and I fielded, the guy was running by, and I swipe tagged him. And Pedro looks at me like, "You better have got him." And I got him, and they called him out, so it was great.
Pedro's legacy on the Diamond is now being recognized beyond the Marquette community.
My first word was well-deserved, you know. I mean, he earned this, and he should have probably been in a long time ago. He represents the fast-pitch community very, very well, and in those days there was 20 teams, you know, and he was elite. So it's an honor to know him, and all I can say to him is congratulations, Paige.
This September, Flynn will be immortalized into the USA Softball of Michigan's Hall of Fame.
It tells me he's a quality guy. People like him on his team. You know, he's a good friend. And that's what makes him successful. To this day, he's still a competitor. We get out here at 60-some years old, and he's still working. He's still competitive. He still wants to make plays. He still wants to pitch a good game. So it's a blast playing with him. Enjoy hanging with him. He's a good man.
Half a century of playing the sport he loves hasn't dulled his competitive edge.
Unbelievable. Life come true. Oh, I worked hard all my life trying to play better, trying to get better all the time. And I bring that up to the young kids this day and age. You know, these young kids don't even want to play catch no more, you know. So it's just dedication that I do it for my teammates, you know. I'm a competitive guy out in the field, but when I'm off the field, I'm friendly.